morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone here today for the long-awaited and overdue dedication ceremony of the Mayor Thomas Jenkins Memorial Park, formerly known as the 6th Avenue Playground. We welcome and thank the family and friends of Tom Jenkins for being here today for the official dedication. I'd like to introduce members of the council that are here today for the dedication. We have Councilwoman Joanne Fina, Councilman Bill Evans, Councilman Ray Bider, Councilman Jim D'Angelo, Councilman Jamie Casey, Director of Public Works Joe Ciano, and Superintendent of Recreation Gary Swift. They make it happen today.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning. Joe gave the timeline on how this was built. I'll give a different timeline on how we got to Joe. Originally, Rich and I had a conversation, and Rich was very persistent, and we got this moving. And at the time, I was director of the Recreation Department, and we were going full speed. We had this thing planned out for a year. It would have taken a year to do it normally. And then the coronavirus hit, COVID hit, and everything just stopped. And everybody knows what that did. The money stopped, the workforce stopped, so this stopped. At the end of that year, we switched departments, and Councilman Casey now became the director of the rec department, who continued this. He got on board, and he was 100% behind this. We kept planning and planning and planning. And we started moving closer and closer to getting it done. And then we switched again. Councilman Bider now is the director of the rec department. We like to switch around. And with his leadership and his committee, and I think Billy's on it, right?
Yes, sir.
And Councilwoman Fina's on it. We finally got here. The point I'm trying to make is, this was everybody's deal, right? We went to the mayor. If the mayor said no, it wasn't going to happen. He said yes. He was with it 100% from the very beginning. You have all council behind it. You had the superintendent of the Public Works Department and the Rec Department, who built it and maintain it. They were behind it 100%. So everybody's input on this project. It wasn't one guy, it wasn't two guys. It was everybody. Because when I switched, Councilman Casey took it, Councilman Bider took it, and we didn't miss a beat. I just wish it happened sooner, because everything just kind of bogged down. You know? But I will say this, the potential, the reason this park was picked, and I'm going to say this so, and you get it right, because it can't go out wrong. The potential for this park is bigger. If you look behind me, there's areas that this could grow. Right? Now, I'm not going to say it's going to grow tomorrow. I'm not going to say it's going to grow in 2 years. I don't know what it's going to be. Right? But for a low-impact park, something that does not disturb the residents, you could add. So the potential for this park is great, and that's why it was picked. So that's pretty much the timeline. That's pretty much the plan. But again, if it wasn't for these people behind me, this wouldn't have happened. So thank you to everybody, and on behalf of Rich, thanks everybody.
I'd like to thank Public Works, Director of Recreation, Supervisor Gary, and all of the people behind me as well. But I'd like to approach it from a little bit different angle. All of you lived at 187 Cardinal, across the street. So I feel that I knew Tom pretty well. I think the main reason he is so deserving of a park such as this is Tom's goals, ideals for the community are what it is all about. Tom cared about Bellmawr. He didn't care about Republicans, Democrats. Tom cared about Bellmawr. That's my philosophy as well. In a small town, you need to care about your residents, not the political heads that are in county, state, whatever. So I am very happy to have known Tom and his ideals and his family. And as Jim said, this is a place that can grow in his name and hopefully instill maybe Cardinal supplies. If you have a lot of the glassware left, we can end up putting some of that if it's plastic here. But again, thank you all for coming. It's well deserved, and your father and relative was a great man for the community of Bellmawr. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Family for a long time. Back when I was in my early 20s, myself, Chuck Leslie, and Joe Roberts, we were the Democrats for Jenkins when he ran for the Senate against Joe Maressa. And we got involved in that group and we worked together with him. Fortunately, he didn't win, but we were there reminding the town that we had someone from our town running, and we got together. It's nice to see everyone here today. And before we do the dedication, I'd like to read something about Tom. The late Mayor Thomas E. Jenkins, creator of Bellmaur's unique recreation features, but definitely the father of the Pocket Park, is being dedicated this park on June 25th, 2022. Mayor Jenkins left a legacy of childhood memories for any child, adult or senior citizen. Whoever swung on Bellmawr swings, spun on the merry-go-rounds until they couldn't stand up, or played squash, the lemon on the high slides of playgrounds throughout town. His vision to identify individual neighborhood areas where kids became friends, parents became protectors of not only their children, but all children, and most importantly, where neighbors became neighborhoods deep with pride that is still present today. May this park provide the magic, enjoyment, excitement as all the parks Mayor Thomas E. Jenkins envisioned during his term as the mayor of the borough of Bellmawr.
A lot of you guys didn't know my dad. If you were lucky to, he was a humble man, quiet man. But if you knew him one-on-one, he was a funny guy, and he was just a happy man, but very quiet and very humble. I appreciate you guys all coming out here, and this is my field of dreams. This is my field of dreams here. If that don't move anybody, you don't have a park. Anyway, thank you, Mayor, Council, and everybody. Oh, and Herb. I got to thank Herb. For without Herb, he pushed my dad to run for mayor, and he didn't really want it, did he? But he did, and we're all here to honor him. There you are, Dad.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Everyone else that was involved and everybody else that is here today. I understand that my brother was instrumental in making this happen, and I'm very proud of my brother for that. I was thinking about this on the way over and how nice it was to grow up in this when I was a kid. We were known for good sports fields. It was a great place to grow up. And I think we were all very lucky to have not people just like my dad, but all the men when I was a kid. They were the greatest generation. And we were very lucky to have them in our lives. And I think my dad was emblematic of that generation. So, thanks very much.
Yeah. Is dedicated to Mayor Thomas E. Jenkins, and it reads, for his numerous accomplishments as mayor, his unwavering dedication to our residents, and his vision of building playgrounds throughout the borough for our children. Today it's my honor as the mayor of Bellmawr to dedicate the playground in his honor, and at the end it says, he served Bellmawr well. And that's a tribute to him. There we go.